Hello! So today we are going to be playing a game called Spot the Giraffe. You have 5 seconds. Can you find it? Five, four, three, two, one. Could you find the giraffe? Oh yeah, it's right there. The bright colored animal surrounded by green. Okay. Well, I guess humans are hardwired to notice certain colors and patterns. Let's try something a little bit harder. This time, try to find the kitty. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, it is there. It's definitely a big kitty, but of course, some patterns are harder for humans to understand. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Self, who is this guy and what on earth is he talking about? And I'm glad that I pretended you asked. My name is Radlicki, and today I'm going to be talking about information extraction. And if you're like, information extraction, that sounds boring. How can I apply that? Well, I'm glad that I pretended you asked again, because let's set the stage. It's February 15th, the day after Valentine's Day. Yesterday, you smooched your loved one, and it was a wonderful time. But now, this is where things get real. This is when all that Valentine's candy goes on sale. So, we're going to make sure that we can get the best deal possible. Okay. Now, for computers, certain patterns can be easier to detect and harder for us. Kind of like how we could see that giraffe very easily, but a computer might struggle. We look at this and we see a bunch of A's and E's, and we can kind of pick them out, but after a while it just starts to become word soup. However, for a computer, it can very easily distinguish between that, just like we can with the giraffe. However, that's more difficult for us. Now, as we've learned firsthand through this course, computers can sometimes struggle with things that seem very basic for us. So, let's get back to that chocolate example. We have this ad from Lapis Grocery advertising a wonderful sale of leftover Valentine's candy for February 15th. Now, since this is the perfect time to buy chocolate, we want to write an algorithm that will search through every single ad that all of the grocery stores have, so that way we can get the most candy for the cheapest price. So, let's take a look at this example ad that I have here. Discount candy special at Lapis Grocery. Bags of heart-shaped Reese's Peanut Butter Cups are only $3.35. Valentine's Skittles 27.5-ounce bags are buy one, get one for $1. For $8, you can get a Lindor Valentine's Day assortment to take home and celebrate your thrifty chocolate wisdom. Now, for humans, we can look at that, we can parse it, we can break it down, just like this. We can highlight all of the different items and all the different prices and break it down. However, of course, when ads are written, they like to be written in different formats. Each of these sentences is distinct from the others. It's not just, this is this price, this is this price, this is this price. And information extraction is specifically taking unstructured data and putting it into a structure that is easier for computers, and oftentimes humans, to read. But while we have an easy time picking up these advertisements and seeing what goes with what, for a computer it might be trickier. And if we want to write an algorithm that can go and search through hundreds, maybe even thousands of ads to help us get our ultimate February 15th post-Valentine's Day chocolate fix, we need to make sure that we do so effectively. And so, information extraction has a few different methods that we can look at using. And in this particular case, we're going to be emphasizing relation extraction. Relation extraction is essentially when you write an algorithm that helps a computer to connect thing A to thing B. So an example that the textbook liked to use was, hey, set up a computer software to monitor all of the changing announcements from airlines to be able to help you get the best tickets. So whenever an airline has a little post on its website saying, prices have gone down here, then the computer would be able to take that information, digest it, and go, oh, this airline's ticket price is connected to this discount or this new price. In our case, we want to be able to have our algorithm connect specific items of candy and connect it to certain prices. And we also would like to be able to, in the end, ideally be able to tie that back to which store we would be able to buy that at. So, there are a few different methods of relation extraction that are emphasized in this chapter. One is Hurst patterns, and this is kind of the most manual of the structures. Essentially, you're doing the same thing as writing a regex, so that way, if it detects a sentence with a certain pattern of A is on sale at $B, then it would be able to pick that up. However, the limitations here with these hand-built patterns, while they do have high precision for sentences that share that structure, they oftentimes have low recall. They're not able to pull up a lot of data, and it's a lot of work for you to think of every single possible pattern that a sentence might have, and we could run into some examples that would cause that to break down very easily, such as our Lapis grocery example. In our case, we can't count on every sentence being written the same. The next item is supervised learning. Supervised learning is like manually applying relationships to objects and feeding them into a machine, so that way then you're able to train it until its algorithms can predict what belongs where. So we might, for example, go through 50 ads on our own and manually label, this is an item, this is a price, and then we could test that by having it run through another couple of hundred ads and see if it was trained successfully. Now, of course, in this particular instance, that can be kind of hit or miss. Think of our third sentence here. While the algorithm might have been trained to recognize items like chocolate and prices, okay, it might correctly latch on to $8, but it might end up, instead of recognizing the Lindor Valentine's Day assortment, it might think that it's $8 for chocolate wisdom. And chocolate wisdom sounds amazing. I don't know what it would be, but I love chocolate and I love wisdom. However, chocolate wisdom is not being priced at $8. It's the Lindor Valentine's Day assortment. So in this particular case, we would have to do very extensive training and lots of manual work in order to be able to have this structured appropriately. Now, there are other similar methods to this supervised learning, but the main tricky thing here is they all are, at core, similar, except for one particular method, where we call in a little backup. This is the final example given in the textbook, which has the official sounding name of distant supervision for relation extraction. This uses external databases, such as, for example, Wikipedia metadata on individuals and items to label things and get a jump start on identifying certain items. So, for example, we could tie our supervised learning algorithm into Wikipedia metadata for candy brands. That way then, we wouldn't have to excessively train it. We could have it go, ooh, Skittles. Okay, I found Skittles. Let me see if there's a price in this sentence that makes sense. We would still have to do some fine-tuning because a certain algorithm might end up thinking that the price is 27.5 ounces when really that's the size of the bag. And what we're actually looking for is the price, which is buy one at full price, get one for $1. So we can't completely rely on metadata, nor can we completely make everything all nice and shiny just by training extensively. There is going to be a little bit of fine-tuning. However, we have much greater success when we allow ourselves to utilize that outside backup. And then that way, we can find out if Lapis Grocery really has the best deals. And we can look through hundreds more grocery stores too. Now, of course, this supervised learning method, where we combine external metadata with some hands-on training, still has some limitations. In this case, for example, if you have a local chocolatier or a local candy shop that makes delicious handmade candies, we're a lot less likely to be able to run into that when we're tying it into major brand names. However, again, in this example, we're looking for the cheapest post-Valentine's Day chocolate possible. And so that is what we're going for. And while homemade sweets are oftentimes the best, they oftentimes also aren't the cheapest. So, for our purposes, searching through grocery store ads, this is the ideal method. Now, if you want to learn more about some of the other methods and some of the subsets of supervised training, check out the 2023 version of the textbook, and feel free to check out this chapter. There actually is more in it than I had time to get into, though I hope that I was able to cover the basics in a way that was understandable, and most importantly, which you can put into effect the day after Easter later this year. I don't know about y'all, but I am going way hard on getting the best deals on chocolate that I possibly can. Thank you so much for viewing my presentation. I hope that you have a genuinely wonderful and awesome day, and that you enjoy your sugar coma to the utmost extent. Take care, and bye-bye. Oh. Real good plan. Real good deal. Okay.